here with the electronic instruments in the pit and the drum line and tuba section in the back there. Brings up an interesting point. With your front sideline performers, you got to make sure that those ladies and gentlemen are listening back. And I know it's hard because in band we're always told watch, 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 but they really can't watch the drum major. If they play with the drum major, they're going to be early, and it's going to cause phasing issues from an audience standpoint. Here in the winds is a nice way of picking up and actually creating more interest in this opening little vamp than there may actually be musically. Very clever, works extremely well. Nice staging for the soloists on here inside the guard form. Nice method to draw attention to the saxophone. All the winds and percussion seem to be staged well throughout that piece. Like the transition there with the rotating files toward the end. Really picked up that transition well and drove it home to the end of that tune. the Kennedy High School band here reminds me of something I learned from Eric Kitchman way back in the day when I first started writing drill, and that's the fastest way to get momentum is to take a straight line and do something with it. And the drill designer for Kennedy is doing exactly that. They've got a lot of linear form, but they take that linear form and they'll flex it or they'll flip it or rotate it. Great way to get a lot of energy on the field. And give your kids something that they can easily understand. It's a real easy progression for them to get. I just stretch down field and I line my shoulder up with the guy in front of me and poof, I'm in a line. Gesture there in the winds and circling the soloist, pulling the guard in there, drawing focus to the soloist in the middle of the field. Definitely would appreciate that from a judge's standpoint, looking at it from a demand and execution standpoint. We're not quite done with our show yet, and we get down there toward the end of it, and we started to have some breakdowns, which tells me that this is new, and as I said several times tonight, that's very common for this time of the season. Most bands, most competing bands, are just now starting to get the finishing touches of their programs onto the field, and the ends of the shows aren't necessarily going to be as polished as the beginnings. As I was saying, this band has some interesting elements from a drill design standpoint. They use a lot of flexing and rotating of linears, which creates a lot of motion with very little effort. Kids don't necessarily have to experience a real big step size to get a lot of motion out of it. I think the guard was staged well throughout this entire program. Kind of hard to tell toward the end. They picked up the little mylar fringed hoops for part of Sir Duke and then put them back down and then use no equipment for the rest of the show, which tells me that they're not done yet. So I'm curious to see what kind of transition they'll have in there, next week when they come out for their next show. I think overall the kids understood their responsibilities, their roles on the field. I think they had some interesting characterizations going on out there. The color guard tied well into the 70s concept with the kind of a tie-dyed wrap upper body, and most of their silks picked up on that as well.